Alright, good morning, period 2. If you are a roomie, I would like for you to join our Zoom class. Our Zoom ID is also in Canvas if you need to access it. Zoomies, I'm assuming that you're in Canvas. Just a reminder, if you're a roomie, I suggest that your camera is off. And for right now, you don't need your headphones. You can go ahead and mute yourself in Zoom, and I would turn your volume all the way down. As a reminder, if you have something that you would like to share to the roomies and the Zoomies, you can go ahead and unmute and turn your computer volume up. Zoomies, camera, your choice. If you have something to share, go ahead and type talking in the chat and unmute yourself, and your computer volume should be on.
I decided to have all of my students on Zoom. This is so they all feel like part of a group. My roomies can connect with the teacher via chat. With this comes a little bit of an audio situation that you need to work with students. There can be microphone interference, so students need to learn that there can only be one mic on at a time. This means that my students in the room need to have their Zoom muted and their computer volume turned all the way down.
Okay. We're going to do a quick warm-up video. If you're in the room, it'll be a think, pair, share. If you are in Zoom, it'll be a think, write, share into the chat. This is Scrat from Ice Age. As we watch a minute little clip, I want you to think about what issues is he experiencing, what are his needs, and how are those needs being met or not met.
Think about how you will keep your roomies and Zoomies connected, and think about the pros and cons of using chat for all communication versus having students unmute in the class or on Zoom to share ideas. For this, I had students in the room do a think, pair, share verbally, and I had Zoomies participate in the chat. This can lead to Zoomies feeling a little isolated because of the amount of time it takes to call on students in the class.
In Zoom, go ahead and do a think, write, share, and I'll give you about 1 minute. I want to highlight a few things from our chat, and then I'll ask for a couple shares in the room. So Scrat is experiencing that he's a perfectionist and just can't let the last acorn sit on top of the others. Maybe he should try a different food source. It's not a bad move. Perhaps skydiving mentor would help Scrat. I like those. All right. So the unit that we're launching into is thinking about designing with others in mind. For today's activity, we're going to play a game called Mockups. Just as a quick example, you'll have somebody that you're designing for, so in this case, penguins. You'll have some type of situation that they are looking for support on. In this case, it's becoming famous, and then some type of constraint. So if we think about Scrat, right? Scrat needed a way to figure out how to get those acorns. And his constraint was that he wanted all of them. In this case, we've got penguins, they want to become famous, but it needs to be collapsible. So, my roomies, in a minute, I'm going to have you turn and talk to one another. Zoomies, I'm going to have you go ahead and put some ideas in the chat about ways that penguins could become famous that is collapsible. Okay. Any questions? You can put those in the chat. All right. Go ahead and think about ways penguins could be famous that are collapsible.
Think about the flow of your direct instruction time so that both groups of students are able to keep pace. In hybrid, there's a balancing act between making sure students in the room are able to interact with each other and making sure that there's not dead air time for your Zoomies. One way to do this is to use the chat as a place for your students to share ideas with one another.
Roomies, if you have something amazing, go ahead and put it in the chat. And then I would like to call on a few of you to share. Deb says traveling to another continent on a life raft. I like the suggestion from Caitlin for a Happy Feet stage for them to dance on. I heard Suzanne say collapsible cell phone or flip phone, right? That was Jen. Yes.
So they can have a social media account.
So they can have a social media account?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Somebody said an accordion.
Yeah. Now Melissa says that we should do some Happy Feet while wearing a penguin mask. Ooh, an accordion playing penguin.
Yeah,
That on TikTok.
that's a really good.
That's great. Okay. So for today,
For student sharing, continue what worked for you in CDL. In this case, I decided to read what students were writing out loud from the chat so that no matter whether they were a Zoomie or a roomie, they felt like they were participating.
so for today, if you're a roomie, I'm gonna have you kind of partner up with the people that are close to you, either in duos or trios. If you are a Zoomie, I'm gonna have breakout rooms open. I'm gonna put the Jamboard in the chat so that you see it. And you can open it, but don't start drawing yet. All right, instructions before you go. If you're a Zoomie in your breakout room, you're going to be boards 1 through 4. Roomies, you will be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I will make sure there are 9, but we want to make sure that our Zoomies get the boards that correspond with their breakout rooms. I want you to pick a card from each category. So in Jamboard, right, I have my tools over on the side. I can come in and I can draw, and let's say that I want to do rock stars, need a way to spread ideas, that's solar power. So we would circle what we want to do, and then I'll write my need statement here so that everybody can see it, and then I'll put my drawing here. If my drawing is not the clearest, I might type my explanation. Okay. So I'll pick a card from each category, I'll write up my needs statement, and then I'll brainstorm. Just like what we did with penguins and Scrap, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this. This is kind of rapid prototyping. It doesn't have to be amazing. It's more, how can we brainstorm some of these ideas? So with that, once you're in and you say hello to your people, I'm only going to give you about 4 minutes to work. Okay? So again, Zoomies, your breakout room number will correspond to your Jamboard page. You're going 1 through 4. Roomies, we're 5 through 10. With, okay? Any questions, chat, or in person?
For the purpose of the simulation, I had roomies and Zoomies work separately rather than trying to create breakout rooms with a combination of the two. In the classroom, I would most likely use pre-assigned breakout rooms with a combination of roomies and Zoomies. I would most likely have a student from attendance group A, attendance group B, and a CDL student in breakout rooms so that they had a sense of community. You do need to keep in mind that the pro of this is connections with other students and a sense of community, but the con can potentially be audio issues with roomies. It's especially important that they wear headphones so that they are able to hear each other.
Zoomies, I'm going to open up 4 rooms, and I'm going to let you pick your own. Okay.